I have this thought that I just can't shake. You can eat what looks like the most perfect, healthy plate of food. The crisp green salads, the lean chicken, you completely skip the junk food. But deep inside, your own body might be quietly, desperately eating its own muscles just to keep you going.
Yeah, that is a really heavy thought and a total contradiction, isn't it?
It really is. Like you
Yeah.
go through the day making all these good choices, and yet there is this bone deep fatigue that just stays with you. You notice your hair feeling a little thinner, or a simple walk leaves you wiped out for days. I always wonder, why does my healthy plate feel like it is completely failing me?
I totally recognize that feeling. And it is not just needing a nap, right? It is this deep, quiet drain on your whole system. You
Yeah.
pour your energy into your work, your family, your daily life, and you just feel hollowed out.
Hollowed out. Yes, exactly that.
And it is so easy to blame yourself. We tend to think, well, I just lack willpower, or maybe I just need another cup of coffee to push through the afternoon.
Right. We always reach for the coffee.
We do, but what is actually happening is a silent structural crisis. And it all traces back to a word that I think we completely misunderstand. When we hear the word protein, our minds instantly jump to a very specific image.
Oh, for sure. Giant tubs of powder, heavy weights, intense gym culture.
Exactly. It feels like a fitness word.
Yeah, not a wellness word at all.
Right. But protein is not just for building big muscles. It is the raw material of human life.
Mhm.
Every single cell in your body is in this constant state of breaking down and being rebuilt.
Rebuilt, like constantly.
Constantly. The lining of your gut, your skin, the enzymes that digest your lunch, your immune system, they're all woven together from amino acids. And those are simply the tiny building blocks that make up protein. You are physically rebuilding yourself from scratch every single day.
Every single day. Wow.
Wow.
And here's the part that completely shifted my understanding recently. I always thought about food like a fuel tank.
Like putting gas in a car.
Exactly. Like if I eat carbs or fat, my body uses what it needs and then just stores the rest for later. I mean, we all know how good the body is at storing fat.
Oh, we definitely know that.
Right. But protein does not work that way at all. There is no storage tank. That's
At all. Human beings never evolved a reserve tank for protein.
Hmm.
We can store huge amounts of energy as fat to survive a long winter famine, but we do not keep a single ounce of spare amino acids waiting around for a rainy day.
So wait, if there is no storage tank, what happens on a random Tuesday? Work is crazy. We rush out the door, skip breakfast, maybe have a light salad for lunch. We just don't take in enough of those building blocks. What does the body actually do to keep the lights on?
It shifts into a pure survival state. We can call it borrowing mode. Your body has these non-negotiable repair jobs it must finish every day, just to keep your heart beating and your lungs breathing.
It has to do the vital stuff first.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And if the fresh materials are not coming in from your meals, the body has no choice. It is forced to scavenge for them.
Scavenge, that sounds so intense.
It is. And the primary place it goes to borrow those vital parts is your own muscle tissue.
That is such a chilling thought. It makes me think of an old house. Like imagine you own a house and a bad storm blows a hole in the roof.
Okay, I can picture that.
But instead of going to the store to buy new wood, you walk down into your own basement and start chiseling out load-bearing bricks from the foundation just to patch the roof.
Oh, wow. Yes.
I mean, sure, the house stays standing. You survive the storm. But your foundation is quietly getting weaker and weaker every single day.
That is a brilliant way to picture it, taking bricks from the basement. And the tricky part is that your body is incredibly smart at hiding the damage.
Because you don't feel it right away.
Right. You do not get a loud warning bell when you enter borrowing mode.
Yeah.
It is a slow, silent fade.
Yeah, you just start noticing these subtle, sneaky signs. You think your nails are just brittle from the cold weather. Or you think your blood sugar is swinging just because you were stressed out.
We ignore the body's signals under the pressure of work all the time.
We really do. We write it off so quickly.
We tell ourselves it is just normal burnout. But those brittle nails, the thinner feeling hair, the feeling of taking 3 whole days to recover from a minor task, that is the foundation crumbling.
The structural integrity is just compromised.
Exactly. It is a slow compromise.
Which leaves me with a massive question. If so many of us are trying to eat well, making the salads and avoiding the junk, why are we stuck in this foundation crumbling mode? And the more I look at my own life, the more I realize the math we were all taught about diet is just fundamentally broken.
The math is entirely outdated. I mean, completely.
We have been following rules that just do not serve us at all.
Most of us grew up hearing a very specific rule for protein. roughly 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight.
Yeah, that was the golden rule. It was printed on every label.
Taught in every health class.
Yeah.
But we never stopped to ask where that number actually came from.
Let's talk about where it came from because it is frankly shocking.
It really is. That old number was never meant to help you thrive. It came from very old observations of highly inactive people.
Like people just resting.
Exactly. The goal was simply to figure out the bare minimum amount needed to prevent outright sickness.
So it is just the floor.
Yes, it is the
Okay.
floor, not the ceiling. It is the amount you need to just barely survive lying in bed, not the amount you need to handle modern stress, build a resilient mind, or protect your joints as you move through life.
It is the bare minimum to not fall apart.
Exactly. What we understand now is that true vitality requires a completely different target. For anyone trying to live an active life, protect their mental health, or maintain their strength, the target is much higher.
How much higher are we talking?
It sits around 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram.
Wow. That is almost double what we thought we needed.
It is a big jump.
But I really want to challenge this idea for a second. Let's think about getting older. If I am in my 40s, sitting at a desk most of the day, I am objectively doing less intense physical stuff than I was in my 20s.
Sure, that makes sense.
Biologically, shouldn't my need for building blocks go down? I mean, I am burning less energy.
It sounds completely logical, right? But the reality inside our cells is the exact opposite. As we age, we develop something called muscle building resistance.
Muscle building resistance. That sounds like the cells are going on strike.
They kind of are. Think about how the body changes over time. As we navigate the stress of our 30s and 40s, there is a natural, slow rise in background inflammation.
Just that constant low-level swelling and stress.
Exactly. It acts like static on a radio line. When you are 20, your cells hear the signal perfectly. You eat a small piece of chicken, the signal says rebuild, and the body goes to work like a sponge.
The signal is crystal clear.
Right. But at 40, that background static muffles the signal. Your cells become resistant to hearing it.
Wait, so the exact same meal that fixed my body at 25 literally does not trigger the same repair at 45.
Precisely. You have to turn the volume up.
Turn the volume up. I like that.
You need a slightly larger dose of protein just to cut through the static and force the cells to start repairing. I remember this woman named Karen. She was 47, totally normal life, loved her garden.
Gardening is serious work.
It is, but she was noticing this heavy decline. Just carrying the soil bags left her feeling weak and shaky for days.
And like most of us, she probably just assumed, well, I'm getting older, weakness is mandatory.
We accept it so easily.
Hmm.
But she learned about this cellular static. She did not start lifting heavy weights or totally upend her life. She simply started adding real protein to her breakfast.
Something she probably skipped before.
She had to skip it entirely.
Mm-hmm.
And she focused on rich protein at dinner. She just turned the volume up. Within weeks, the strength came back. The garden felt easy again. She just needed to give her body a loud enough signal to overcome the resistance.
She stopped chiseling bricks from her basement. That is so hopeful.
It is very hopeful.
But it also leads straight into a massive trap. If the math is higher, my immediate instinct is to say, great, I will just order the biggest steak on the menu at dinner.
Oh, the giant dinner strategy.
Right. Eat a mountain of food at 8 o'clock at night and check the box. Done.
And that is where the biology catches us again. We run right into the processing ceiling.
The processing ceiling. Let's explore this, because it explains so much about why our typical modern habits fail us. How does the ceiling actually work?
Well, your digestive system has tiny worker enzymes that carry these amino acids across the gut wall and into your blood.
Like a little crew of workers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there is a limited crew. They can only carry so much at one time. For muscle repair, the body maxes out at processing roughly 30 to 40 grams of protein in a single sitting.
Wait, only 30 to 40? So if I eat a massive meal with 80 grams of protein, the workers just get overwhelmed. What happens to the extra 40 grams?
The liver looks at all those extra building blocks waiting around in the blood and decides it cannot store them. Remember, no storage tank.
Right, nowhere to put them.
So it simply oxidizes them. It burns them up for quick, temporary energy, or just flushes them out. They do not get used to rebuild your foundation.
Hold on, I have to push back here. If the body can only handle 40 grams at a time, how do these massive bodybuilders at the gym get so huge?
That is always the first question.
Do they just have a magical biological ceiling that I do not have?
That is a wonderful question. Their ceiling is only slightly higher because they're causing such extreme daily damage to their muscles, which summons a few more workers. But the real secret is timing.
Timing.
They do not eat 100 grams of protein at dinner. They eat 30 or 40 grams 5 or 6 times a day.
Ugh.
They respect the ceiling.
Okay, now think about how the average person lives. We do the exact opposite.
We really do.
We rush out the door with a coffee and a pastry, zero building blocks. We have a tiny salad for lunch, maybe 5 grams, and then at 8 at night, we eat a massive, heavy meal. It is totally
It
backward.
is a recipe for deep burnout.
Because you spent 16 hours of your day in borrowing mode,
Yeah.
eating your own foundation, and then at dinner, you give the body way more than it can process anyway. It is just so inefficient.
I saw this clearly with a guy named Michael, 34 years old, working an intense office job. He thought his diet was perfect.
Let me guess, lots of salads.
Green juice in the morning, a light vegan wrap for lunch, and a huge dinner. But every day at 3 in the afternoon, he would completely crash. He could barely keep his eyes open at his desk.
The classic afternoon slump. We always try to fix it with coffee, but it is actually a structural collapse.
Exactly. He thought he was just tired. But the fun for him was not eating more food overall. It was simply restructuring the delivery.
Who's smoothing it out?
He added 2 eggs to his morning routine. He kept the wrap, but added a side of Greek yogurt in the afternoon. He smoothed out the curve. By providing a steady, rolling wave of raw materials all day, the afternoon crash completely vanished.
Because his body was finally off the survival roller coaster?
Yes, the panic was gone.
Now, we have been talking mostly about physical energy and muscles, but what really blew my mind recently is realizing that protein does a massive amount of invisible background work.
The hidden stuff.
Yeah. What does this have to do with our mental state? Because I never, ever connected my breakfast to my mood.
We rarely do. We treat the mind and the body like 2 different planets. But think about chemical messengers in the brain, things like dopamine and serotonin.
The chemicals that make us feel good.
Right. The ones that make you feel driven, calm, and secure. They do not just magically appear out of nowhere. Your brain has to manufacture them, and the only raw materials it can use are amino acids.
Wait, really? Let's trace that. How does a piece of food become a feeling of calm?
Let's take an amino acid called tryptophan. You absorb it from your food. Your body physically reshapes that molecule and turns it into serotonin.
The calm chemical.
Yes, that serotonin is what allows you to handle a stressful email without panicking. But if you are highly stressed, and let's face it, life is demanding right now,
Yeah.
your brain burns through those chemicals incredibly fast.
So if you do not eat enough protein to replace them?
You literally lack the chemical ingredients to feel calm.
Wow. You are trying to build a house of peace with no bricks.
Beautifully said. That is exactly it. And it goes even deeper into the night. Later in the evening, your body takes that serotonin and reshapes it one more time into melatonin, the signal for deep, restful sleep.
So skipping protein at breakfast can literally steal your sleep at midnight.
It is deeply connected. There's also the blood sugar aspect. When you eat protein early in the day, it anchors your blood sugar. It prevents those hidden drops in the middle of the night.
I never thought about blood sugar at night.
When your blood sugar crashes at 3 in the morning, your body panics and releases adrenaline to wake you up. You lie there, staring at the ceiling, thinking it is anxiety, but it is often just your body asking for stability.
Oh, wow. It is just crying out for balance. And what about gut health? We hear so much about the gut lining these days.
The lining of your digestive tract is replaced every few days. It is one of the fastest rebuilding tissues in the human body. Certain amino acids are the direct fuel for that repair.
So it needs a constant supply.
If your gut lining is struggling from too much stress or processed food, it desperately needs a steady flow of protein to seal the gaps. It is the literal mortar between the cells.
Okay, so we understand the silent borrowing, we know the math is higher, we know the ceiling is real, and we see how it controls our mood and sleep. Now, how do we actually bring this into our kitchen?
The practical part.
Yeah. What does a gentle, natural day of eating look like without driving ourselves crazy? Let's look at the actual foods.
Variety is the most beautiful tool we have. Let's start with eggs. They're incredible because they are so easily absorbed by the body. Plus, the yolk contains a nutrient called choline, which directly supports brain focus.
It sounds like the perfect anchor for a busy morning.
It really sets the tone for the whole day.
What about plant options?
Lentils are a quiet powerhouse. You get a meaningful dose of protein, but it comes wrapped in natural fiber.
Fiber is always good.
That fiber slows down digestion, giving you a beautiful steady release of energy without any sugar crash. They are so gentle on the system.
I do notice a huge difference when I have a warm bowl of lentils for lunch. I feel solid until dinner. What else?
Simple Greek yogurt. It concentrates the milk, so you get a much higher protein count, alongside living cultures for that gut repair we just talked about.
That makes sense.
And then there is cottage cheese. It contains a specific type of protein that breaks down very, very slowly. Having a small bowl in the evening gives your body a slow trickle of repair materials all through the night.
A slow trickle while you sleep. That is fascinating.
Hmm.
But we also have to look honestly at the habits that hurt us. I am looking right at my morning routine here.
The hidden traps.
So many of us rely on a green juice or a blended smoothie, thinking we are making the ultimate healthy choice. Why is that failing us?
Because we confuse vitamins with structure. A green smoothie gives you wonderful plant nutrients, but it is often packed with fruit sugars and zero structural building blocks.
Well, it is missing the bricks.
You drink it, your sugar spikes, you feel proud of yourself, but your cells are left starving for repair materials. 2 hours later, the borrowing mode begins.
That hits close to home. You feel so virtuous, but you are actually starving the foundation.
Hmm.
And what about protein bars? They are everywhere now.
We have to be so careful with those. A lot of them are simply glorified candy bars wrapped in clever marketing.
Just candy in disguise.
If you look closely, the amount of processed syrups and artificial fillers can completely disrupt your gut. They were fine in an absolute emergency, like if you were stranded at an airport, but they should never be the foundation of how you nourish yourself.
And then there is the most painful habit of all the extreme crash diets.
Oh, it breaks my heart to see. When we cut our food intake too drastically out of guilt or pressure, the body panics. It needs energy, so it starts eating its own muscle tissue at a rapid pace.
It goes into extreme scavenging.
You might see a smaller number on the scale, but you are literally burning away the inner engine that keeps you warm, strong, and alive.
You are burning the house down to keep warm. Let's clear the air on a few persistent myths that keep people confused, because there's so much noise out there. The first myth, if I eat huge amounts of protein, I will just automatically build endless muscle.
We know now that is simply false. Because of the processing ceiling we talked about, your body only takes what it needs for daily repair, and slightly more if you stimulated the muscle with movement.
So the rest is just wasted.
Beyond that cap, it just burns it for energy. More is not always better. Consistent is better.
Consistent is better. I like that. The second myth, you absolutely must eat meat to get the right kind of protein.
Completely untrue. The body requires 9 specific building blocks, the essential amino acids, that it cannot make on its own.
It is blind to making them.
Right, you have to swallow them.
Mm.
Animal foods naturally bundle all 9 together, but plant foods have them too. If you simply enjoy a varied diet combining lentils with rice or eating tofu and seeds throughout the day, your body easily gathers all 9 pieces to build a complete profile. It works beautifully.
That brings such peace of mind. It doesn't have to be rigid.
Not at all.
And the final myth, the frantic 30-minute window. I used to see people literally running to drink a shake the second they stopped walking on a treadmill, terrified they would lose all the benefits.
That was mostly driven by companies selling shakes, honestly.
Yeah.
The biology is far more forgiving. Your cells are open and receptive to repair for hours, sometimes even a full day after a good walk or a strength session.
So no need to sprint to the kitchen.
There is absolutely no need to panic. You can go home, take a warm shower, and cook a peaceful meal. The body will wait for you.
So if we pull all these threads together, the path forward is actually quite gentle. We just need to calculate a truer target, around 1.2 to 1.6 grams for every kilogram we weigh.
Yes, find your true number.
We need to abandon the massive, heavy dinner strategy and instead spread our meals into peaceful 30-gram moments across the day. And we need to pay special attention as we cross into our 30s and 40s to cut through that cellular static.
Yes. And if we zoom out to the deepest human history, there is something so profound to realize about ourselves. Because we never evolved a way to store protein, we were never meant to be entirely self-contained.
What do you mean by self-contained?
Well, the body's inability to store this essential spark of life means we are naturally designed to never stop interacting with the world around us. We're an open system.
We are meant to be in a constant relationship with nature.
Exactly. We are meant to be in a daily, active pursuit of the materials that make us whole. You are never fully done. Every morning you wake up, you are quite literally an unfinished project, gathering the pieces of the earth to rebuild your skin, your heart, your mind.
It makes sitting down to a meal feel less like a chore and more like a quiet miracle.
It really is a miracle.
Oh,
You are
hey.
building yourself anew every single day.
We are in a perpetual state of creation. That completely changes how I will look at my next meal.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Wellness Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same gentle way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to again, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life, and it helps Wellness Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the Join button right next to the Wellness Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Wellness Support Circle. Your support helps honest health awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Wellness Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.